Hope you get the lot, you dog. Get back on protecting your mat.
Might just join you by the bed there, mate. What's going on? Waiting for a mate. That way your car's all smashed up.
Can't wait for some of these snags. This is going to be good at.
Well, Jesus Christ, I'm hungover. I can't believe I'm here. I nearly pulled out of it. But somehow, I don't know how Rick's done this. Jeremy Howe's sitting here for some reason. Welcome, mate.
I'm on holidays, boys, so I was more than happy to come in.
Jezza, I didn't expect this, but this is a surprise, dude. So we really thank you for coming in, brother.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
So what's the connection? I'm genuinely confused. I've been asleep for 3 days hungover. And I wake up and Rick says, come into the studio, we'll do a pod.
Yeah.
And
I said, I got a surprise. My old mate Jez is coming in, premiership medalist. I don't know how many cars you won in the Mark of the Year.
Just the one, mate.
Or fuel vouchers, whatever it was. But there was a time when we met. It cast your mind back to 2018. It was the summer off-season. You just moved to Collingwood. And I remember I was going surfing and there was a band of people learning how to surf on the beach, and turns out Jeremy had his foamy. I didn't know it was Jeremy doing his little stand-up star jumps. Isn't that right? And I tripped over his leg rope while I was stretching. And he goes, oh, sorry, mate. And I go, Jez, Jeremy Howe, you just won Mark of the Year, mate. You're right on bloody Echo Beach with me.
up on your phone.
But I'm a mad demon. Anyway, we ended up having a chat and we ended up knocking into each other and having a beer on the little bars there by La Brisa. And he said, mate, why don't you come out for dinner? Nate Jones is going to be there. Who else was there?
My now wife was there.
Yeah.
I think Jez was there as well. Chunk's wife. And who else was there?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was many beers to be had, stories were told, and then it was from that. It's like it's not that we've caught up that often. It's like it's like we never left.
But it was the night. It was like I was given the drip feed into the inner sanctum in Bali, and I was round the round table, and we were just talking so much shit with each other, and we gave each other a cheeky follow. Yeah. But this guy and I, we just love each other's stories, and I thought, oh mate, we got to link up again. So thanks for coming in. It's been a long time since Bali.
Yeah, that is absolutely brilliant, mate.
How did you go surfing?
Shit house. I've never picked up another surfboard.
So on that, like, what off-season? It's an exciting time of life. You got a young family with Xander, and your wife's
freshly. We're due to have another one in. I think it's in between opening round and round one. So, another boy. So building up the back line for the Collingwood Footy Club.
Yes. On that, I was going to ask, how many games you play for the D's?
100 on the dot. So he's eligible. They both are.
So,
they will be.
Are you going to leave it to them to make that decision?
They'll actually get the eligibility for Tassie, Melbourne, and Collingwood.
Oh my God! So it'll be a bit of a tussle.
So it's going to be a bit of a tussle. It'll probably be, and it depends on who's going well.
Yeah, exactly.
Might find themselves down in Hobart.
18 years from now, any club could be in a rubble, you know.
But yeah, it was funny. Even the Brisbane antics and how they're going. It's like, in comparison to what happened at the end of this year. Like, I've been on holidays for 5 weeks and the granny only just happened. So I was like, in comparison to we're on day 5 of partying last year with another 10 weeks to go, and
you would have the sunglasses well and truly on at that stage.
Different. Like, I've already been back at training. Like, I've started running and going to the gym and that again, whereas, funny story, myself and Pendles were doing recovery after the prelim last year.
Yeah.
And we're down at Hampton Beach and we're in the water. It's like, fuck, how good is this? Like, we're in the granny. This is going to be epic. And we turn around, there's 6 of the St Kilda boys running along the coastline. And we looked at each other and we're like, fuck that. And we're like, imagine that. And then we all went for a run the other day. We're like, we're them. That's like full deja vu moment, but it's like now it's us running 5 weeks early. Like, it's just, it's a different story, but grateful for the first, but you hate missing finals.
Yes. But I can't see it being long before you're back there. Actually, on Pendles, there's a bit of a connection there. We used to play basketball together.
Right.
So have you ever actually, other than the famous Chris Dawes, have you ever run into anyone that has actual evidence of him being a good basketballer or not?
Well, we do have a basketball ring at the club. And
how's it go?
He takes a piss. Like, if it's 1v1, no one can beat him. And then in teams events, like, we're just trying to bully ball him. We're just trying to team up on him. But like he's gone down and trained with Melbourne United and stuff like that. And like plays pick-up games with those guys, and I think he contributes just as much.
I was leading you down a silly path. He was one of the best basketballers I've ever seen as a junior. He just took
slow down time. You know how they always say that.
He has this one move, and he's ripped it off Jordan, and to do that at 14 years old and just continue to do it. I don't know if you've seen him do this thing where he'll take you to the baseline and he'll pretend he's about to do a spin move, and you'll go and fucking fall out of bounds. And he'll just come back and just a light touch.
Well, I feel like it's like he's generally playing like chess, because he's like waiting for you to make moves like on a defensive side. So he's working you out while dribbling the ball, and then as soon as he makes a move, he already knows what you're doing, and then it just becomes like an easy layup or fadeaway jumper, and just like it just doesn't become fun for me. Like I'm highly competitive. When someone's way better than me, I'm out.
Yeah, wow. He adapts that to football as well. His mind, I heard he has like a little pamphlet and writes down like everything on a little pamphlet. He's quite a poet.
It'd be a big pamphlet.
So are you heading away now that you've got some time?
Well, I've got a couple of weddings coming up. So September obviously freed up out of nowhere. So we just chose to hang out as a fam, which is kind of cool. It's something that we didn't really get a lot of time last year. But then, so I've got a wedding in Sydney, wedding in Tassie, Bucks in Sydney, sorry. And then a Bucks in Tassie.
Oh, mate, you got the lot.
Christmas in Tassie. It's like, it's just everywhere. So it's like a lot of small trips, but nothing significant in terms of a holiday.
Yep.
But I think just hanging out Monday to Friday is kind of good enough for me. With Carlia pregnant again, which is kind of cool. But, just getting a bit more time with the fam's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you, sort of out of curiosity, how do you treat, as one of the older blokes at the club, how do you treat those younger fellas when it's off-season, let them go? It's one of those sort of hot topics at the moment, isn't it?
It is. Like we've got like a lot of guys, you're left to your own devices in your off-season. Like I remember early days at the D's, things weren't going great. As soon as you finish, you get a massive program, like to the T. You have to do this, run this in times. Like it's flat out. So it's like you get 10 weeks holiday, but you're out for maybe 3 days. And then you're instantly back into the program. And I think a lot of clubs have slackened off not slackened, but loosened the grip on it, which is great. Because it's more mentally challenging than anything. Everyone can be fit and strong as fuck, and then it's like they can do it, punch out a season, which is fine. But how mentally engaged can you keep turning up? And that's where clubs now are like, well, all right, the flexibility in the program is on you, but the expectation is you come back fit. So it's like, for me as an older player, I think I've definitely learned. I've gone both ways. I've come back unfit.
Yeah.
Really? Like skin folds?
Yeah, your skinnies are a little bit high. Well, they've never been ultimately way high, but I've been generally like underdone. So like the difference between coming back relatively fit and then just topping up, the difference between being underdone and trying to catch up to the group is fucking chalk and cheese. So like, and I've done both. Whereas I'd like to think that as I get more experience, I live in the ladder. And like for the younger guys, they're the same. I was like, they're getting the best now, where it's like, oh, I can go on holidays, I can do whatever I want, but as long as you come back in good nick, you're okay. And you'd like to think 90% of the group are in that space. You always get the 10% that push the boundaries. But then you just watch them chase ass in the preseason. It's like that's where you get the payback. So.
And that's just all these curious thoughts I have. Like, did you find that coaches go, I know that Fly's not a guy who does this. I remember Fly from years ago. We played at Old Scotch together. Just doesn't have that bone in his body to be just a dickhead. But do you find the worse you go, the harder the coach decides the fucking program's going to be, and they're just going to flog you to fucking death, thinking that's the way back from a year that was maybe not the one?
I think it was funny enough that us old boys last year didn't come back till January.
Yeah.
And now we're all back. So it's like, there's a lever being pulled already. But 5 weeks earlier out of the season probably has a factor in that. But I don't think so. Like Flyers, like the boys, I reckon that even this year, like we're fitter than we ever were in 23. So we're fitter, we're stronger this year. Unfortunately, we just had 2 shocking lapses in season. First 3 games of the year, and then there's a middle part of the year where we dropped like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
And you're in a league where teams are fucking way too good to be able to do that. And then, like, Fly's not one to just bark and he goes, the frustration came out because he knows what we're capable of, and we just never did it. Yeah. So it's just like, boys, what the fuck is going on? So there's some conversations that I had, and I think the optimism at the end of the year, like we beat Brisbane, we beat Carlton, like we finished the year looking really good. I was like, that gave us a belief. It was like, well, we are good enough. We just didn't put it together for long enough throughout the year, and it cost us the final spot in the end. So And then you look at what Brisbane did.
Yeah.
Finish outside the 4, have the hardest run, going through. They blitz everyone, then win the flag by 10 goals.
It's fucking absurd, isn't it? It's fucking absurd.
I'm so happy with them. I'm happy for them, but also you're like, fuck. All we had to do was get there.
Yeah.
We just had to get there. Like, so they proved to everyone all you got to do is get there.
Yeah, except if you're Dacos and you get what is a record sort of amount of votes. And, you get hit by Cribs.
That was tough. Like we were all sitting there. We had 2 tables at the Brownlow. There was obviously had the main table with the boys who were getting all the votes, and then it was had like the extras. It was like,
Were you in the extras or the
I was on the
main
extras. Yeah.
Oh.
I was the only reason I
How
got
many
there.
votes did you get this year?
0. I had to present Mark of the Year, so that was the only reason I went there. And
That makes sense.
I felt bad enough because I didn't know who won until they literally gave me the envelope. But both Bobby Hill and Jamie Elliott just assumed that I knew the whole time, and I just wouldn't tell them. I was like, but I sent them a message. It was like, I'm presenting. I was like, I'm happily accepting gifts. It was like, whoever wants to support it. Just baited them. But then they didn't give me the envelope until I walked up on stage. So had them both eating out of the palm of my hand. But
Did you notice you had the envelope? Or just on this, the very topical?
No.
Rhys Mathieson did you notice?
No.
He's the new muscle man.
Was he?
He was the bloke with the briefcase, mate.
Oh, the ball for the Amy commercial thing.
Yeah, he was this year he was the guy walking down the
He's
Crown.
moving into acting.
the armor guard guys. Yeah.
He's auditioned a few times for some of Richard's roles.
Yeah. So on that, like, because you're 35 years old now, illustrious career, you're the Prince of the Pack Mark II, you're the Warick Capper. On that, this new Tasmanian team, I've got to say, you're a passionate Tassie boy.
Yeah.
You know, you see this Dusty Martin, Gold Coast, Luke Parker, North, a bit of a leadership, Hodge, Brizzy.
Yeah.
Would you ever, like, is there a bit of a romance in that? Kick things off?
I think if it was, I actually haven't spoken about it, but if it was right now, it would be like a genuine potential. Like you'd definitely live in the space of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm 34. You sold me out 12 months there, but
sorry,
I'm 34. I know I'm playing footy next year.
Yeah.
But if they were in next year, there'd be a conversation around, okay, where are we at? How comfortable in terms of having a conversation with Fly and the club, which they'd be fully supportive of. But knowing they're 2028, it was like, I just know there's like, no one wants a washed up 39-year-old.
Oh, no, man, a bit of Botox would be sweet.
Dean Brogan was about 140 when he went to
true.
the GWS.
Yeah.
But I think like the encouraging thing for me is I'm interested in what they're going to do, how they're going to build the joint, who's involved. Like that's always something. Like I grew up there. I've got so much people to thank for the career that I had. So there's genuine interest in terms of being a part of it. But for me, I'm still so invested where I'm at. I'm playing at Collingwood next year. Then I'll be 35, and then you reassess at the end of the year next year.
So we're not closing that door. He's going to Tassie in a couple of years.
I think we just announced the next capacity.
But I reckon it's rad. Are they going to pack out those stadiums? Do you reckon they're going to get around them?
They'll feel it for sure. Definitely. I think, because it's like anything. When you've been starved of something for so long, the thirst and the want as soon as you get it. Imagine not being told you can't get on the piss for 6 months, and then the first night you get it.
Yeah.
How hard are you going?
Yeah, very hard.
It's like they haven't
Like
had it.
every
They've
5 days, mate.
Well, they've never had the team. They've always wanted it. They've craved it. It's coming. They're building the stadium, and just watch them fill it. It's just going to happen. They'll all jump on board. I think their membership hit blitz 250,000. Yeah, they'll fuck all to buy.
What are they actually selling, those memberships?
You got a sticker. You got a sticker to put on the back of your car. I think you got you buy jerseys and that now, which people have been seen all over the world in them.
Yeah.
And Katy Perry's a fan.
Is she really?
She blitzed it, by the way.
She was
Low
good.
key,
Very good.
what's that Ryan Law song? Rhys Mathieson.
Are you aware that she's Orlando Bloom's wife? Did you hear the Orlando Bloom story last week?
No.
The headbutt story?
No.
Someone called in and said they were in Mexico on a bender and met Orlando Bloom, and they got into a headbutting war, and he made Orlando Bloom bleed, and it was in the Daily Mail.
You can Google it right now. It happened.
Really?
Yeah, truth teller was
So
amazing.
anyway, Katy Perry, headbutted a few on the way through. It's all about those a bit dusty.
Yeah, I know, but she killed it. I liked it. They did it well the whole day. That's just the vibe of September, that day waking up. And, you get our perspective for once.
Yeah.
Your normal pleb, not involved in the game.
We're not calling him a normal pleb.
Us.
We are normal
So
plebs.
take a seat at the couch, mate. And you're like, shush, I'm watching the game.
It was funny though, even like waking up. It's amazing how it does it. So like, even last year, I know Grand Final Parade was hot last year, but then it was 29 degrees for the granny. And then this year it was like shit for weather in the lead-in, and then all of a sudden it's like 24 and sunny. Grand
Turn it
Final day.
on.
With that energy, is there an adrenaline dump, especially after winning one?
Oh, there's definitely like after you win it, I don't reckon you fall into any form of like reflection or anything for a while until you definitely fall. Like, I just found like the first 24 hours, like you could all your energy is like just given like to your family, like your friends, the boys, like the club. Like I had broken ribs and I'm hugging people 24/7.
That's
I'm
right.
fucking crying because I'm getting squeezed. And yeah, but then I reckon I almost got crook like 2 weeks after it.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, you take
body.
a breath and you're like, I'm fucked here. Like I'm generally cooked. And then, yeah, I suppose like you ramp up and you quickly forget everyone forgets what's just happened, and then everyone's just talking about the build up for next year, who's going to be good, they're going to fall off the face of the earth. It's like, and then all of a sudden you're back into pre-season again.
A weird thing, wouldn't it?
It just rolls in so quick. And like, there's never been a truer word. One of your favourite stars, Brad Green. I remember at the end of my second year at the D's, he retired. And he goes, the years get quicker. He goes, enjoy it while it lasts because it'll be gone before you know it. I'm like, mate, you played for fucking 16 years. How can you possibly say that? Like, that just seems like an eternity.
Now you're there.
And I'm 15 years in, I'm like, Jesus Christ, where to go?
What's
Like,
Tassie doing?
So you're 16 years going quicker. Get your ass to Tassie, boy. Oh, awesome,
So-
dude. But talking to Tassie as well, I know you are an absolute sportsman when it comes to golf. You're playing at Barn Bugle because I know you hit off 2 or 3.
Yes, correct. So certainly didn't play off that in the Gale Force Breeze down there a couple of weeks ago. We went down the prelim week with a few of the boys. There's a par 3 on there. It's like 91 metres, and we're hitting 4 irons, which you can normally hit maybe 205. We're hitting them, and they're like off the side of the green, short. Like to be honest, the golf was the least of our worries. It was like we teed off early.
About not flipping the cards.
we did have a bit of a one there, a hairy one, because like I booked it all in. So all the boys were like, yeah, this is going to be great. It's like it's all working out well. Accommodation, booked the rounds of golf, dinner, everything. It was like flowing. Got to like Friday night, and I was just like, geez, I don't know when we're playing tomorrow, boys. I can't find the confirmation. Like I'm scrambling.
You start to think that you didn't actually book it.
So it's like 10:30 p.m. and I'm on the scramble. I'm like, oh no. It's like boys are like well and truly on their way blind. I've got the confirmation. 7:01 tee off in the morning.
What time was it now?
It's like 11 at night. And the boys are like, we can't. Sure. It's like, we're doing it. So we have to get on. So we teed off at 7:01. Next route was 7:11. And then I at least didn't have me first beer for a few holes, but the other few boys cracked in on the green.
Hair of the dog, yeah.
7:09, they're on the can.
Why not?
This is a real footy thing. Full disclosure, I've been a PDM at one of the clubs for the last 3 years. I can't have a conversation with a player without. I don't play golf. So I was looking at the camera while you're talking and going, I don't know what he's saying. He's saying a whole lot of numbers and all this stuff. I still don't fucking get it. I need to understand. But not one player could I have a conversation with without it needs to be at a golf course.
Yeah.
Or we need to incorporate golf. When did it take over the AFL? Is this the same at your club?
Yeah, it was interesting because I played before I got drafted. So when I was like 16, and when I came over, I didn't bring my clubs, and no one played. So I was like, it was pretty cruisy. And then at Melbourne, it was maybe like Rowan Bale, Jared Rivers kind of had a hit every now and then. Nath Jones would rock up if it was like a social Ambrose day. But then now it's kind of like, it's almost like who's not playing. Like it started to picking up. I was like, I know golf courses everywhere are chocked with members. You can't get on. It's like, and it's like, I don't know, maybe people just, for sports people especially, I've found it as just like, it's the
Therapeutic.
best, mental break ever.
Mason Cox.
Oh,
does he play golf?
He does. And I think he's trying to hound the boys for trying to get fit out because he's 6'11".
He's huge.
And I think I'll be able to pinch his sticks. You can take those for sure. He wouldn't be able to hit them.
Humbly accept it.
28 and I, or JK and I, do not know what it's like to be a celebrity. You, in fact, are a celebrity. You live in Melbourne. You're the biggest club, the whole bubble thing. Have you ever been in a situation where you're lining up for a fucking coffee or in a queue at an airport where you're like, I'm going to have to get me Jeremy Howe on here. You know, you're like, oh, mate, do you know who I am? Have you ever had to pull one of them? You're in a rush, or it's like you're in a valet. Just something. Just give it, you know, like, oh, g'day, mate, how are you doing? An autograph for your kid? You know, let me through. Have you done that?
There's if you ring it up for a reservation and you drop your name.
Yeah.
In the reservation, they
Jez Howe or Jeremy?
Jeremy. You instantly get the feel whether or not they pick up on it or not. So if they don't, then I don't care. It's fine. But if they do, then all of a sudden
they're like,
oh, it's like
Grand Hyatt Adelaide. Who is this?
It's not. You're not the footy player, right? It's like I am, and then all of a sudden I was like, well, what can you get out of it?
Awesome. I love it.
I'm not like the greatest thing in Victoria is like there's so many like sporting clubs and everything. I think like if you go to Perth or Adelaide, you get fucking caned. Like, or in saying that, it'd be like one, you get slaughtered by heaps of people, but then also the perks would be great because they're divided by minimal. WA, like if you're Harley Reid,
I reckon
he ain't paying for a thing. If he stays over there for 20 years, he won't pay for a thing for the rest of his life.
I dare say I'm hearing his next contract's going to be a 15.
Has to be.
But no, it's something crazy, and there's big mining BHP dudes that are going to flop stuff.
Where are you getting your mail from again?
Hearing this, I know dudes over there. No, but that's the town he lives in. Is a boomtown mining town. There is big West Coast fans with a lot of cash there.
What do you reckon they're paying him under the table?
No, not at all. It's a sponsorship.
First, down the barrel.
He's an excavator. No, I just think that there's going to be a lot of sponsorships and stuff that'll keep him there. He's mad to leave.
They will not let him go under any circumstance.
West Coast are a massive club.
Yeah, they are, and they're still. I think still financially they're top two, if not the richest club in terms of like what they bring in. The fans, their fan base is enormous, so they're not going to struggle. And I think he's only going to benefit. Like he's obviously box office to watch, and what he's going to provide for that joint is like. If you're another player coming through, they're kind of the guys you want to play with. Yeah. So I think you'd be paying him whatever he asks for.
Absolutely. Just reminded me as we were just doubling back on, flexing your muscle and on Mark of the Year sort of thing. Warick Capper.
I've run with him.
I actually got one message from someone to ask you. Yeah, about this situation.
I'm surprised.
I got one on. Where's the IG?
He's had a big week. You've been following his work on Instagram.
Hey, Ricky, ask Howie. Warick Capper says he took better marks than any of you at training. Any of yours while at training, are you looking to make your own Shiraz or even own a bordello just to spite him? For people who don't know what a bordello is, it is I guess it's a frequent gentleman's club. He owns one in Clayton or something.
Yeah. We were at we're having brunch at a cafe in Albert Park. And he came over. He was there.
Was that in
he was sitting on a table next to us. And I was like, there's Warick sitting over there. And then sure enough, he pulls his phone out and he starts filming himself. I was like, fuck, what's he doing here? And then all of a sudden he comes over, he goes, here he is, Jeremy Howe. He's a poor man's Capper. And then honestly, it's almost word for word what you just reeled up. He goes, I've taken better marks than training than you. He goes, I wouldn't piss on your marks. It's like, you're hopeless. It's like, he goes, all kids around Australia still go, Capper. They don't give a fuck about Jeremy Howe. I was just like,
just insulted you at brunch.
Insults me for 5 minutes and then he just walks straight back over and goes back to his table and the boys are in tears. And I'm sitting there like, fuck just happened?
Do you know what I find hilarious with this guy is, you know the people that just talk that much shit that you start to believe it? Like he's in this rhythm of, I'm fucking Capper, are you Jezelenko a bit, whatever that it is. He's a hype reel that doesn't stop. Do you reckon he wakes up by himself in the shower muttering those things, or he's like, does anyone out there know the real Warick, or is that just him? You know what I mean?
He's sort of going from your film background. You reckon he's method acting? Is the question, is he method acting or is this...
Does he ever switch it off and just look in the mirror and go, hey, going here, just going to get a cup of coffee? Or it's like, You know, cappuccino.
brushing his teeth, and he's going, "You look good." Like, he's just pumping
But
himself
like,
up.
there's no respect. You
I think it
know.
might be this. I don't know if it switches off at all.
Do you reckon you've got another mark in you?
Yeah, I'll definitely be capable.
Do you practice for it?
We do. We've got the hanger bag out at the club, so we kind of get it out every now and then. I don't put anywhere near the amount of time
Do you
into
get
it as I used
flyby's
to.
points, mate?
You should. Well, considering they now got 2 million velocity points for the winner.
Oh, really?
So there's 2 million velocity points.
And what did you get in your first year?
And 50 grand.
What did you?
Hello.
Yeah.
What did you get in your
Going for
first
it.
year?
My first one, the only one I got in 2012, I got the last car. So through Toyota. So I had to go in and pick a car out.
Was it like a
it
lease?
was for like 35 grand or something.
Okay.
Which for me, it was Toyota Orion. I was like, I had a
You
piece
wouldn't
of
get
shit.
Yaris for
I had a
35.
piece of shit. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll take that. Drove for a little bit, then I traded in, got a Jeep. And then it was like, but then that was the last car. Like, I remember
Thanks, Toyota.
We've got them twice in 2 weeks, Toyota.
Liam Jarrett got it. And he got
Dude, I reckon that was one of the best marks ever. That was a monster.
He got like a $2,500 fuel voucher that he ended up having to give it to Aaron Davey because he didn't drive. He didn't have a license. So Aaron Davey got the free
rough, man.
Really?
Other people got like a lifetime year supply of Weet-Bix. Then they got like TV and surround sound. I was like,
It's insulting. Hey, begs the question, what did Capper win?
yeah, true.
You do not want to answer that question.
You should have just gone, what did you win in 1986 for best flag? It's like, oh, you know.
Contract with a porno company.
A couple of tins of
So I
Nesquik.
just, like, by absolute fluke today, I found that. It's from an account called Useless AFL Stats, and it's Howe jumped on my head All Stars. That is, have you ever seen this?
No.
So we've got one team that was when you're at Melbourne, and the other team when you went to Collingwood, and it's a whole list of names of people you've taken hangers on.
That's rad.
Both, I reckon.
I'll send it to you after. But you've gone on my cousin Mark Pitnet, who is 6'9". Do you remember that one?
Oh, I honestly don't. I was like, there'd be a few like general contested grabs in there, no doubt. It's like it wouldn't be all hangers.
I think the mark, like the high-flying pack mark, is like almost a poster in NBA. You know when you walk over someone?
Yeah.
What's the most satisfying person you like being against them, competitive, and you just taking a screamer on them, you just eat that?
I guess it was.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
We want names.
Which one is it here?
Is there anyone that was just satisfying?
The one on Tommy McDonald in 2017.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because like
Your mate.
we got drafted together.
Yeah, so
like, we get along really well, but there's always like this ultra competitive side between the both of us, and it's like I don't know. When I sat on him, it was kind of I was like watching him when I was on top of him, and then he's like crawling up, and everyone was just almost generally laughing, and I was just like, yeah, that was the one when I was like. Yeah, like I knew it would sting. Like,
Yeah.
And the greatest thing ever, one of my closest mates, Bernie Vince, kicked it to me. And he was playing for Melbourne. So
Tommy McDonald, big fan of the 28 page, and he will be listening to this, so let's fantastic.
yeah, I saw him running laps this morning actually, so there's no love lost.
At the beach? At the beach?
Nah, we're in the club actually. So
Oh, you took one on track.
yeah, that was the same year I think.
I think you
It was-
do
it was
remember.
in
That
the-
was a
it was-
test.
It was in the identical spot. Almost similar marks, just wasn't as high. And before I hit the ground, he's laughing. Like he's laughing about it. So that was actually all right. But no, I haven't seen that. I saw a Howe of Fame though.
Really?
So it's a similar thing as like anyone that you sat on, they're in the Howe of Fame.
So maybe the contested marks
Yeah,
have
so there's a few-
filtered out of that one.
Just so you know, Jeremy started both those pages.
We might get to a couple of questions. I put it out to the followers today to ask a few questions of yourself and our other special guest later on, but they've come in thick and fast on both of them. Travis Cloak wants to know if you had a big one of the Brownlow for some reason.
I think I walked out at 10 to 4.
Oh, did you not stay there?
No, I didn't because Carly was driving. We were like, oh,
You made her stay
Yeah.
out till 4.
no, she left after round 16.
Oh, there you go.
But I couldn't do that. So I was like, oh, we'll go and have a look. So I went to the after party with a few of the lads and vacated out a little bit later than what you'd probably seem as acceptable. I'd love to know how he knows
I'm
that.
trying to figure this out. He's got some very good mail, Trav.
There was a lot of people at the after party.
Yeah,
So,
right.
and yeah, a few of us were seeing him pretty well. So,
Now, there's another one in here. So you're looking at my phone and you can see that there's no question here. I can't find it, but I remember it because it was a really good question. And it was about, not to go off the comedy sphere here for a second, but what he was really keen to know about the sort of the mental comeback you had from the broken arm and where that took you and how you sort of managed to come back from that.
Yeah, that was as heavy as it's ever been in terms of footy challenge. I think I've spoken about it a couple of times where I guess the significance of the injury, that happens. Never been exposed to an infection before, which I don't know if you guys have, but after a surgery. But being in hospital for 14 days. Like Xander he was pretty small as well. He was 18 months roughly, but couldn't really get any exposure to my wife or him through that period. Had 4 surgeries in 11 days.
Shit.
So getting put under constantly, taking 25 pills a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm only 32 here. Like, I'm like, is this it?
How
like,
serious was it, dude?
Well, I had 7 breaks. So I had my forearm snapped twice in 2 different spots. So both bones snapped twice. So my arm was like flopped straight down. Broke 2 bones in my elbow where it tried to dislocate first. Then I snapped my AC joint on the way down when I landed. So
it was pain immediate when it happened, or was it post?
Yeah, so it was funnily enough, I explained it the exact same. It was like I watched Conor McGregor explain when he broke his leg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's like got a blowtorch in the middle of your arm and they're just holding it there. And it's just burning your arm off. Like that's just what it felt like. And the pain doesn't go.
Oh my God.
So I got the
burning pain.
It was burning pain. Like it was burnt. And I got the whistle and then it made me feel sick. So I said, I can't have it. So then I had no pain relief for 40 minutes until the ambos got me downstairs. And the whole thing is like Fuxie, the physio, is just holding my arm there. And I'm just like shuddering. Like I'm just shaking, shuddering. And bone's still out. So it's still out at that time, hanging out the back.
Were you just thinking, I don't want to make any move at all?
Well, at the start, I wasn't too sure what was going on. Like I heard the snap. I was like, oh, I've obviously broke my wrist or something. But then Braden Maynard came over. And as soon as he got next to me, he goes, oh, fuck me. Like I was like, oh no, it must be bad. And I look over and my arm's next to me, but my forearm is bent like over there.
Oh
like,
my God.
Straight over there. So I was like, well, it is as bad as what I thought it was going to be. And then, anyway, so got through all the surgeries, got through the infection, antibiotics for the whole season. Ended up going into hospital with my guts were that inflamed. I ended up having to take this other shit. Like, anyway, so it was a horror show.
Dark times.
Mentally getting back, I think running and getting healthy again, that was the main focus. Becoming a dad and a husband, like a viable, actual being able to do my job was in that phase. That was the most important thing.
Yeah.
But the club gave me all the time off I wanted, which was great. But then, coming back, I was like, it doesn't actually, I was like, I'm training. I was like, ball work started like coming back to me. Like I had no feeling in my hand and like all the way down through this. So I still got numbness in my thumb because the nerve damage was so significant. It was like a blender went off in my arm.
Jesus.
So then seeing a hand therapist for an hour a day for 3 days a week for 16 weeks in a row just to try and get all that.
Little mental wins that you have to get.
Just anything, trying to get some feeling back, trying to get motor control back, squeeze strength and all that. And then, by the time I started getting ready, I was like, I walked off with Fly. I go, righto. I knew that I wasn't playing. But I was like, I've got Neville Jetta to get the bag out. I was like, throw me ground balls and I'm just going to fucking hit you as hard as I can, like 3 times in a row, that arm. So I just went, bang, cracked it. And Fly's like just watching me like walking off. He had no intentions of like doing anything, but I was like, deliberately did it in front of him to go, I'm not that far away. So I was like, and it's like, even for me mentally, I was like, fuck, it's actually not that bad. And then, I played the next week against Adelaide. We ended up winning, jumped up, took a mark, fell over, landed on my arm. And then from that moment, I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
So I played the first 2 games on adrenaline, like as you would, but then I struggled for probably the next month. I was like just trying to pick up the feel of the game. Felt like, I just felt a little bit off. And then my last 6 games were as strong as they had been. So,
Is that fucking interesting that you had to have that same moment again almost to just fall? As I didn't know that, to just take that fall against Adelaide.
And like I've got my whole arm still chock full of metal from like my hand to my elbow and it's just got pins all the way down. So like I can't take them out until I retire.
Right.
Because I just don't have the time.
The airport going in.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone asks and it doesn't go off at all. But like if I show you the photos of the x-rays, like it's like you can't see any of my bones because they're pinned and got screws on both sides all the way down. And it's just got screws all the way down from like elbow to wrist. So when I take them out, it'd be like a crib board, like, you know, the crib boards you used to play. If I put my arm down, it'd probably just go and break straight away. Like, so I don't have the time for it to recover. But now that I'm through all the infection, it can stay in, but I don't want it to because I can feel it kind of still half restricted.
Just suck it out till, 2030 when you just wrap it up at Tassie.
The great people down at Tasmanian Hospital.
Yeah.
Man, it's unreal. So the full context, the bloke who sent that in actually sent me a couple of messages that were some about you, some about just sort of sharing his own stuff. He's been listening to the pod. You'll love this. He actually told me that he's been listening, and for the first time in his life, he's booked in with a counsellor this week to just sort of get on top of his own mental health. So it's sort of a bit of context behind sort of wanting to know that sort of thing. So I thought it was fucking great. But did you? I don't know her personally, but you have a fucking fantastic psychologist, Jackie.
Yeah.
Jackie
Lauder.
Yes, Jackie Lauder. I was trying to remember her fucking last name, so I'm looking all over the room going, what's her last name?
Yeah. She's incredible. She's been working at Melbourne Storm for a long period of time. Yeah. So, she's a psychologist, but really specialises. She obviously sees a lot of patients outside general mental health, mental well-being, but then she has an amazing ability to bring it back to performance as well. So she sees this as a normal client, but then also she sees us as how can we get the best out of these players and how can we get them to perform at like a peak performance at any given time.
Jeez, that'd be hard.
So like the mental training around, because a lot of it, to be honest, is like in game, a lot of it's above your head. Like everyone's done the same amount of work, but why do you feel so good when you're playing? And I don't. I was like, so now you've got things in plan. So like individual plans mentally, not only is like, yes, you train on the track Monday to Friday, but now you've got a mental plan to make sure you're in the right frame of mind. You're emotionally invested just as much as like you are physically, and then all of a sudden you peak at the right time. And then when shit hits the fan, you don't care. Like you're instantly like, what's next? What can I do? Everyone's got plans in place to be able to move on. And she's been enormous in that space, not only for players, but the coaches and people and staff. So there's no wonder she's got a great rep. She's been enormous for us. She's been working in an incredible environment at Storm for a long period of time. And you've got to look at how good they're going. They're every chance. Well, I think they're in there.
We're trying to get our hooks in Pappen.
Well, he comes in here right after us usually, the Storm boys.
Is this where they do the podcast? Is it? Yeah, the clubbies or whatever.
We'll get him to sign some jerseys, some premiership merch, just hoping they win it. Flog it off on Gumtree.
We don't have Big Nels anymore after this.
So stiff.
Jesus, did you see the photo of him just sitting there?
Did you see that? And the post is like, and I saw the caption on it.
Staring down the barrel. I dare you to not let me play.
And to be honest, I was watching that game. I was like, as soon as it happened, I was like, I hope it doesn't go the way that it ended up doing. Like, it's
what did he cop?
4 weeks.
Oh shit!
And it's just like because of concuss and it got graded as like severe or whatever like the case was. Like because he's like your height, plus probably another 20.
Yeah, he is huge, man.
Unfortunately, like the guy lowered his weight, and I'm no rugby specialist at any stage, but like he just come in and good tackle technique, but unfortunately his jaw is at his shoulder line, and he was about the third point of contact, and he clipped him and he's dropped him, and I was like, it was at the 7-second mark of the first quarter.
Oh no!
And he got the 10 in the bin. And then as soon as he came back on, he was one of the most significant players for that short period of time when he was back on. So his importance is enormous, and you feel for him. But
he used to live in my apartment complex, like when I was actually 28, having a melttdown.
Big apartment complex, have a few blokes in there.
He had sort of 2 connected apartments, but there was this pool on the roof, and him and whoever else he was with. I'm like, oh, fuck, this guy must be like 34 years old. He's huge. He was like 17 or 18 years old.
Yeah, they're built different, man.
What's going on there?
I've been over to some of those islands before, like, that Polynesian kind of area filming and stuff.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, like just at the it's just like, and they're wearing the beads as well. Like they're full like beautiful people, but just tree trunk legs, these dudes are just massive units.
And just tall.
Yeah.
The dude's 6'9".
One of the most enjoyable things when I was at the D's was actually watching, because we shared the facility at Amy.
Yeah.
We'd watch the Storm do wrestling sessions and tackling sessions. So they'd roll out the big blue mats, and then sometimes they just go, righto, you're at one end, you're at the other, run at each other, see what happens. And you just hear this slap, and the next thing, bang, drop into the ground, reset, go again, new pair comes in, crack, hits each other.
No pads, no dramas, just
the noise it was making was almost like the windows were going to shatter. Like it was like cars just hitting each other.
Wow.
And we're sitting there, like, got the bench out, not like Matho, we're throwing up like 80 kilos. And these blokes are just having head-ons in trucks, just like slamming each other. And it's impressive to see, but you wouldn't want to get in between them.
No.
fucking way.
Jesus Christ. Hey, we should do that one week. Just like with guests. Maybe not us. I'll actually fall over. Big tree fall hard.
You would.
Yeah, we should bring that in maybe, just the guests just run.
Puffy chest out.
Fucking run at each other. Sounds like a real kick-on activity, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I know. It's happened before.
We've all been there.
Hold on, boys. I'm getting something down the line here from the other producer, not Maney. There's another one. You don't really
you got
hear.
a phone call, mate.
I've got a phone call.
One of them ones.
It's a bloke who's been a very good friend of the page for a long time. He's a big fella.
Well, he's here now.
He is. He's on the line.
Look out, Howie.
It's Rhys, the beast, the barometer. Mathieson, mate, we got you there, Rhys?
Yeah, I'm a bit dusty to be.
Doesn't sound. It sounds a bit croaky there, Rhys.
Honestly, I'm a bit dusty for a bit. I'm out of a bit. I'm not too pissed fit at the moment. So, the weekend got a hold of me, and I didn't even go that hard. But it was a pretty emotional one. So I think the celebrations took it out of me.
We saw some emotional stuff straight after the game with you and Rayner. It was pretty moving stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been there for 8 years and sort of only knocked up 70-odd games, but I was there with that core group for most of the time. And, we're best mates, me and that type of group, the Berry, Cluggage, Rayner, that all around that sort of age. So, and I'm a Brisbane nuffy, so it was, just a really special moment for me to be able to see him win it. And, like I said, I didn't really play that many games. I averaged about 10 or 12 a season, but the impact the club had on me was pretty special.
Yeah, clearly, when you're bursting out of that jumper, I think the week before you were I was watching
on the celebrations, Reece, did you end up ripping the shirt off at Eve or where Emerson? Did you rip off the rig and get it out?
I didn't get
missing out on.
I didn't get it out, mate. I've put on a bit of weight at the moment, so I was sweating and a bit stinky on the night out, so I kept the rig in. I'm not as fit as I used to be at the moment. The gym's getting a hold of me, so I tend to stink a bit more these days.
We can't move past the gym thing, mate. So Sunday morning comes around. What time did ASADA start knocking on your door?
It's actually they were knocking on my residence, but I don't actually live there. My mum and dad do, so. The old boy had to wake up at 5 a.m. The jocks in the dressing gown, and he thought it was some fucking electricity company trying to sell him a bill, but they were just trying to get a drug test off his son. So they tried to catch me red-handed, maybe thinking I'd been out on a Sunday night bender or something. But it wasn't to be. I was an outlaw for a bit there. They couldn't catch me, which is nice.
Mate, we speak a little bit. I reckon around the time you went for the mid-season draft. Without thinking at all, I did that little video, just pissing myself laughing. There is no way.
You cost me a fucking draft, bro. You cost me a draft. Everyone thought I was pumping the trend.
Dude, your rig is, you're looking like Von Moger's kind of bodybuilding assistant there, man. Are you going for Mr. Olympia?
Mate, if we can put on a bit more size, we'll try to go for a Miss Olympia comp. But it's a bit hard while I'm still playing footy at the moment. So
the chafing,
the chafing and the soft tissue injuries. It's actually hasn't been too beneficial.
I got Howie here. Imagine the chafing and the soft tissue with that sort of rig.
Well, I was only just looking at it. It was like the rig was exquisite since you retired. It was always good when you played, and then it's like seeing you run around in the league below. I was like, my God, this bloke's unbelievable.
I think the premium photo in AFL was always that Buckley one, when and that offset, and they've just recycled that for like years. Like no one's been able to get it. You know when Herald Sun's having a slow news day, and they just put the Bucks on with no context.
Yeah. And Bucks found the yellow band all of a sudden that one 2008. Yeah,
and then
it was a very good
now
photo.
I'm seeing the Mathieson photo is the new Bucks photo.
Well, I think Beast Mode just couldn't suit him anymore at the moment. Surely,
absolutely.
I finally had to live up to it after the shotgun. I was a joke there for a bit, so it's nice to actually live up to it for a little bit.
I certainly didn't think you were a joke, mate. But between you and I, we had an agreement that I was going to come up and I think you were going to put me through a chess session up in
Yep,
Queensland.
absolutely.
See if I can go with him.
Dude, you're
You better
6'9",
start coming
you'd have
up.
a fair crack.
It's a long way.
Yeah. Yeah,
we
get
still
up
on
here
for
quick,
that?
mate, because I'm trying to put some serious size on at the moment. I'm going for about 110. I don't know how the footy season's going to look, but we'll see
How
how we
tall
go.
are you?
I'm about 6'2", and we'll try to get to 110 kilos. So we'll see how we go.
Jesus.
So it'd be my height plus 25 kegs.
I reckon Howie's just got me a little bit in height, but yeah, add a buddy, yeah, another 25 kegs to the frame.
Bloody hell,
You
mate.
wouldn't be taking too many hangers, I don't reckon, Howie.
Oh, here we go.
Not at that weight, no chance.
I still might get up, actually.
So, Rhys, at that kind of weight, like, what are you looking at pushing like a bench? Like, what are you benching now and where do you want to get to?
I got to a 150. I reckon I'm going to try to get to about a 180,
Is that one rep?
maybe for a couple.
Oh, 180 kilos.
I was a bit slow
bench.
there and I just didn't quite register. I was looking at the run sheet like, what am I going to ask you next? And then hold on a second. Did you say 180?
180 kilos.
What?
That's a
So I think I
Toyota
was
Yaris,
throwing.
mate.
I think I was throwing sets up at 6 reps at about 140, but I never went.
Jesus.
I never went past 150 because I was a bit scared of a pec tear, and I had a footy season to play, so I never got too carried away.
Serious question though. So since you left footy, how have you just found, like, have you taught yourself more in the gym, or have you like worked with someone, like, because you understand it's like, yeah, you got to run, you probably can't get as many games when you're in the AFL system, but like you've clearly found a way to improve yourself in the strength factor by a mile.
Yeah, I've always sort of had a passion for gym, even when I've been in the AFL system. It's something I really liked and always worked hard on. But for me, it's just a number of YouTube videos. I spent hours and hours. I didn't have a job there for a while after the AFL career. So it was a lot of TV, watching YouTube, watching the pros like Von Moga, those type of guys. So, hours of YouTube watching and just taking pointers from there. And then, just sort of led on from there.
Mate, I don't know if we've ever spoken about. That's exactly what happened to me when I had a very short-lived career. I was like 21, didn't know what the fuck I'm going to do next. And I found Ronnie Coleman. You ever remember Ronnie Coleman? You're down the YouTube rabbit hole. I got a job at Doherty's Gym in Brunswick. You ever heard of that joint?
I have.
I worked for Tony for about 3 or 4 years, just around, all these unbelievable bodybuilders for a long, long time. But the mindset piece, I can see, this is why I'm kind of drawn to you. It's interesting. It's a good question, Harry. There's the mindset piece sort of been something that's been big for you transitioning out of football and obviously finding this passion. It seems to come through with, we talk about the muscles and all that sort of stuff, but has it helped you mentally, you think, in the transition?
Yeah, it has. It's sort of given me something to do, something to focus. But I wanted to be a cop afterwards and join the SWAT team. So I got to be a cop for 2 years, and I just wanted to put on a size as big as I could. So when I finally get there, I could throw the people I have to around. So
I like the cop idea. I reckon you could be doing a bit of Magic Mike. Making bike shorts and you're away, bro.
Well, they call it moonlight.
Oh, boom.
But Ronnie Coleman was a cop, mate, so you're in good company.
Yeah, that's it. So, so the big boys in the SWAT team, I sort of wanted to see how much size I can put on so I could hold my own.
So Rhys, you genuinely want to like operate in a SWAT team?
Yeah.
That's
So I got to be a
man.
cop for 2 years and then hopefully get in the SWAT sort of team there.
I'm going to do this on camera. I'm going to link you up with a bloke who trains those people, actually the soggies. Great bloke, footy guy. I'm going to link up with him off air and let's see if I can somehow get you on some sort of mentorship.
That'd be great.
Who would have thought?
Rhys Mathieson busting down doors, that is a pretty scary. Yeah, it's huge, man. It's something you didn't expect. You're like, is that you, Rhys? What are you doing here?
Actually, I can't forget to ask this. So you were obviously on the bender the other night after the granny. Who were the big performers?
Oh, it's an interesting one. How we would probably know, but like it's covered with all their family and friends, so like they don't really get too carried away. The boys I sort of known, I thought were going to have a decent crack, but it's more afterwards. So I think Jared Berry and Kyle Lohman have put a good innings in from photos and phone calls that I've had. So but the night of, I reckon they were pretty quiet just because it's family and friends and they're always talking rather than getting hammered. But lately now, Jared Berry, Kyle Lohman.
There's so much mail
is what
on
I'm
this, I
hearing.
reckon
And
they're all absolutely
FaceTimes.
slaughtered.
When does the last of the partying stop? And would there be a couple of boys still going?
Oh yeah, they're still going. Absolutely. I think I got a few FaceTimes early last night, and I'm thinking, "Fuck me, boys. There's not a chance in hell I'm coming out." I don't have an off season like you boys have got right now. So the party's well and truly still going.
Oh, mate. Well, thanks for coming on. Like, it's been a long
sorry,
time
I was
coming.
late, boys.
It's good to chat to you, particularly after
Absolutely.
the granny.
And when Rhys wants to do the 180, we're all going up to witness that thing.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I'll be vein
Come in.
counting on the forehead.
Come in.
A bench off in your home state, your home gym.
Yeah, you've got the
Done.
28
That's it.
support.
I'll get to about
That's it.
80, and it's all you.
Thanks, Rhys.
Yeah,
Thanks,
good lads.
Rhys. You're a
All right,
legend.
boys.
Cheers,
Good
mate.
on you.
Chat to
Thank
you
you very
soon, mate.
much.
Catch ya.
See you guys.
Well, fucking hell. How's that for a story?
I was not expecting that. You've got a guy that's currently getting his door kicked down by ASADA. You're going to travel through time a bit, and it's going to be kicking down doors wearing a SWAT uniform.
Unbelievable.
The beast from the east. Is that it? What's his name again?
I think it is the beast from the east.
Oh, there you go.
I think we've got to take him up on that bench press offer and head up there.
Mate, if he's bench pressing 180, I'm going to be counting the veins in his forehead. Let's get up there.
But bloody hell, we've got nothing. We're going to have to wrap it up there, I think.
Look, thanks for coming in, dude.
Nah, thanks
It's
for
been
having me,
brilliant.
boys.
Is there anything else?
No, mate, this has been fucking
This champ's
fantastic.
got one beautiful son and another baby on the way, and his phone hasn't stopped, buddy. Where the fuck are you?
I'm in Bali, mate. I'm still trying to get up there.
Hey, we've got to tee up this game of golf.
We do.
Let's do. Where are you? What area? Like, what's your address, mate? Just tell the people.
It is. It's just in Hyatt. So,
Oh, mate, I'm Black Rock, bro. I see it. Yeah.
oh, I don't-
Good shit, I'm out in Warrendong.
Yeah. He's out in the outback. He's got about how many head of cattle? I don't know what you're doing out there, mate.
Just the one in the fridge.
We'll organise it. We'll get it going.
Yeah,
for
100%.
sure. Yeah,
Awesome. Well, do you want to take it away, mate?
Mate, we'll just wrap it up there. So, I forgot now we do wrap it up. Maney, do you want to jump on here and just say good day, maybe
Have you
wrap us
been
up?
there, matey?
Nah, I'm good.
Well, we're going to be doing this every week. Hump Day. We're up to EP 4 next week.
Yeah.
Is EP 5 if I can count. But if we can't find other guests, no, we'll get Howie in again. But in all seriousness, we got someone locked and loaded already for next week. Listen in and
Make sure you subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that shit. It helps us out a hell of a lot. We want to go up the charts because we've had a little dip. But I feel like we might be able to get past Cole Jackie-O again if you just help us
we've
out.
settled it. It's Warick Capper or Howe. You decide, mate, who's better.
Oh, do I have to say it?
I don't know. Yeah,
It's clearly me.
see you next week, guys.
Hope you get the lot, you dog. Get back on protecting your mate.
Might just join you by the bed there, mate.
Going on?
Waiting for a mate.
That way your car's all smashed up.
Can't wait for some of these. Man, this is going to be good, eh?